Hi, I want to thank you for watching my channel. This is Black History Month. There is so much to learn and talk about to others. And a lot of people want to learn about the African American culture. It is very rewarding and also exciting. This is a very exciting time on the history of African America. How did African Americans get to the United States of America? Or should I say, why were Africans brought to the United States of America? Or should I say, how many years have they been in the New World? Or should I say, United States of America? Once called the New World. Our history is totally different than other cultures. You cannot learn it all in one day. Our history is different from Spanish Americans. Our history is different from white Americans. Our history is different from Jewish Americans. Our history is different from Polish Americans. Our history is different from Russian Americans. Our history is different from Spanish Americans. We came to the New World, or should I say the United States of America, stripped of all our religious beliefs. We were stripped of our culture, our American families, our language. Were all torn apart to build a country we were not totally aware of. The African culture had to learn to adjust to the worst conditions of life when they were slaves. Slavery began, I think, as early as 1700. African Americans came to America as slaves. We have made improvements in education, the workforce, technology, and life overall. The road has not been easy for African Americans living in the United States, nor any other culture. But we have put our time in, we've studied, and the road of success was waiting for us. The African American has created value in the United States of America. The United States of America is a capitalistic country. With that in mind, I want you to know that there are a lot of success stories of African people who have come to America and have been role models for success. I have so much more to share. I have so much more to show, and I hope you enjoy what I have to say. Hello, I am totally saddened today. I'm just found out that the Jesse Jackson, he's a civil rights leader. He died today. He died at 1:45 a.m. this morning. His family was there with him at his bedside. He was 84 years old. He fought for the civil rights of people, and he done a lot of very successful things. So I'm totally saddened. Jesse Jackson was born in 1941 in Greenville, South Carolina. He grew up in the segregated South. In the 60s, He joined the SCLC and the civil rights protests with Dr. Martin Luther King. In the 60s, America was still segregated, and there were a lot of problems there. And America didn't know how to address them, but Jesse Jackson did. In 1965, Selma voting rights campaign. Jesse Jackson got involved in that. 1968, Martin Luther King assassination, he was there. 1971, he found Operation Push, which was an organization that helped people of color and people in America with equality. I'm kind of sad today. I've been to Operation Push. I've seen Jesse Jackson on television. He was a marvelous man. But I want to say this to you, if I astray. Today is Black History Month. People are excited to talk about the success of African Americans. And not Dr. Martin Luther King, but Jesse Jackson has died during Black History Month. It's a coincidence. 1988, he ran for the president of the United States. He ran twice, and he was close, but he didn't get there. 1984 to 1980, he launched the Rainbow Coalition. And like I said before, February 16th, 2026, 1:45 a.m., he passed away at the age of 84. Jesse Jackson is going to be missed. He helped a lot of African Americans. He changed the system. We had a segregated America, but with his efforts, we've become a one America. So, with that in mind, I think I want to end today. I'm going to watch some of the documentaries on television. I'm going to watch some of the documentaries on YouTube. But he died today. And, I may have gotten off a little bit on some of the individuals, but I wanted to share that with you. The life of Major Taylor. He was a young man born in 1880s. He learned to ride a bicycle. He started racing at 18 years of age. In 1899, he wins his first world champion title. He goes all around the world. People love this black man for his success. He was the highest paid bicyclist back in that time. 1932, he wrote a book and was selling it out of his car, the back of his car, due to the racism and the hatred during that era. He died in 1932. He will always be remembered, Major Taylor. There's a movie written on this man, the life of him, his successes. He did very well in Indianapolis, Indiana. There's a bus that's been designed of him also for people to see. He was known all over the world. The life of Major Taylor. Malcolm X was born May 19th, 1925. Birth name was Malcolm Little. His role, he was a civil rights leader and minister. He died in 1965 in New York City. Why he is important? Well, Malcolm X spoke strongly against racism and injustice, encouraged black pride and self respect, inspired many people to stand up for their rights, His ideas helped shape the civil rights movement. Malcolm X.
Thing that was done, the Negro was brought here in chains, treated in very inhuman fashion. And
Dr.
this led
Martin
to the
Luther King
thingification of the
Jr.,
Negro. So he was not
born
looked upon as a person.
1929
He was not looked upon as
to
a human being with the
1968.
same status and worth as
Martin
other human
Luther
beings.
King Jr.
And
was
the other
one of
thing
the
is that
most
human beings
important
cannot continue
leaders
to do
in
wrong without
the American
eventually
civil rights movement.
rationalizing that wrong.
He
So
worked for
slavery was
equality
justified
using
morally,
nonviolent
biologically,
protests and powerful
theoretically,
speeches.
scientifically, everything else.
Born
And it seems
January
to me that white
15th,
America must see
1929,
that
Atlanta,
no
Georgia.
other ethnic group has been a
Leader in the
slave on
civil rights
American soil.
movement. Famous speech,
That
I
is
Have a
one thing
Dream,
that other immigrant groups haven't had to
1963.
face. The other thing
Won the
is that the
Nobel Peace
color
Prize in
became a stigma. American society
1964.
made the Negro's color
Died in
a stigma.
1968.
And that
Now,
can never
why
be
is he important?
overlooked. So I think
His
these things
name
are
comes
absolutely
up quite
necessary.
a
The other
bit
thing is
for
that
Black
America
History
freed the
Month
slaves in
because he fought to end
1863 through the
segregation and
Emancipation
racism
Proclamation
in the
of
United
Abraham
States
Lincoln,
of
but gave
America.
the slaves
It
no
was bad
land
in
on nothing in
1929,
reality, and as a
all
matter
the
of
way
fact,
up to the
to get
60s.
started on. At the
We had a
same time,
lot of work,
America
and he
was
had a lot
giving
of work
away
to do.
millions of
He
acres of
led
land
peaceful
in the
marches and
West and the
protests.
Midwest, which meant
He
that there
helped
was a
change
willingness to
laws for
give
equal
the white
rights,
peasants from
and he
Europe an economic
inspired
base,
people
and yet it
around the
refused to
world.
give its black peasants from Africa, who came
Dr.
here
Martin Luther
involuntarily
King
in
Jr.
chains and had worked free for 244 years, any kind of economic base. And so emancipation for the Negro was really freedom to hunger. It was freedom to the winds and rains of heaven. It was freedom without food to eat or land to cultivate, and therefore it was freedom and famine at the same time. And when white Americans tell the Negro to lift himself by his own bootstraps, they don't look over the legacy of slavery and segregation. I believe we ought to do all we can and seek to lift ourselves by our own bootstraps. But it's a cruel jest to say to a bootless man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And many Negroes, about thousands and millions, have been left bootless as a result of all of these years of oppression and as a result of a society that deliberately made his color a stigma and something worthless.
Welcome. In a school, you have black authors, famous black American authors, such as Phyllis Wheatley, Langston Hughes, Zora Neale Hurston, and Richard Wright. These are famous black authors that will be remembered and we can look up to in our public schools. Jack Johnson, 1878 to 1946. Jack Johnson. Born March 31st in Galveston, Texas. Parents were formerly enslaved people. 1890s began learning how to box and fight in local matches. He started a building and reputation as a strong fighter. 1890s. 1901, he won the title of the World Color Heavyweight Champion, a title that was created because black fighters were barred from competing for the main title. 1908, defeated Tommy Burns in Australia to become the first black world heavyweight champion. His victory shocked the boxing world and challenged racial barriers. 1910, he fought and defeated Jim Jeffries in the famous Fight of the Century. This win led to racial tensions and riots in some of the cities. Like I said, back in the early 1900s, America was segregated and racist. We had black clubs, white water, black water. You go to this section of the restaurant, whites only. He kind of cleaned some of that up. He started a nightclub where whites and blacks could come and entertain. He done a lot of things to help. In 1920s, he returned to the United States and served his time in prison. He continued boxing after release, but no longer held the title. 1930s, he performed in the expositions and worked various jobs. His fame faded, but he remained a legend. Jack Johnson, first black boxer. 1946, he died June 10th in a car accident in North Carolina at age 68. 2018, after his death, he received a posthumous presidential pardon, recognizing the injustice of his convictions. His legacy? Well, he was the first black heavyweight champion, broke racial barriers in sports, remembered as a pioneer and symbol of strength and independence. The great Jack Johnson. Colin Powell, born 1937, died 2021, was a top United States military leader and government official. Full name was Colin Luther Powell, born April 5th, 1937, New York City. United States Army four-star general, chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff, 1989 to 1993. That was the highest ranking U.S. military officer. U.S. Secretary of State, 2001 to 2005, first black American to hold this position. Died October 18, 2021. Why was he important? He helped lead the United States military strategy during the 1991 Gulf War, known for leadership, democracy, and public service, broke racial barriers in government and the military. Colin Luther Powell. Thurgood Marshall, born 1908, he passed away in 1993. He was a famous American lawyer and civil rights leader who became the first African American U.S. Supreme Court Justice. Born July 2nd, 1908, Baltimore, Maryland, lawyer for civil rights, worked with the NAACP. Major victory, Brown versus the Board of Education, 1954, helped end school segregation. Back then, in the black schools, the supplies, no supplies. White schools, they had all the good supplies. Black schools, no books, old books, torn up books. White schools, new books, supplies. They had all new desks, new materials. They had all the things that was needed to make these young kids successful in the future. And black kids, they was given the rundown and torn stuff. Black kids, they were bused to school or didn't go to school. Schools were old, torn down, falling apart. White children, they put them in brand new schools, heat in the school, ready to go so they can learn. Supreme Court Justice appointed in 1967 by President Lyndon B. Johnson. He died in 1993. Now, why is Thurgood Marshall important? He used the law to fight unfair treatment and segregation, which was going on in America. Helped change U.S. laws to make them more equal. Open doors for future black judges and lawyers. And above all, Thurgood Marshall had a famous quote, and this quote reads, "In recognizing the humanity of our fellow beings, we pay ourselves the highest tribute." Thurgood Marshall. The Black Angels, a group of black nurses who worked in the early 1950s caring for patients with tuberculosis. Yes, the Black Angels. These were black nurses. This is Black History Month, and these were women that were not recognized during that era. They were black nurses recruited to work a Seaview Hospital in Staten Island, New York. Most arrived around 1951 to 1952. They cared for patients with tuberculosis, a serious and highly contagious disease at the time. Many other nurses avoided this work because tuberculosis was dangerous. These nurses barely cared for very sick patients and helped save many lives. Why they are important? Well, remember, they played a key role when new tuberculosis medicine were being used. Their work helped lower tuberculosis death rates. They showed courage and compassion during a time of racial segregation. America was segregated, the South was segregated. It's very important for African Americans and for African people to know their history and see how far they come because we still got a lot of work to do. Many were recruited from the South and the Caribbean. Why the name Black Angels? I asked myself that too. Patients and doctors called them this because they were seen as life saving caregivers who brought in hope. They brought in hope. Black Angels, Black History Month. I'm going to continue. Muhammad Ali, he was the greatest. He was a lot of fun. He had humor. The American people liked Muhammad Ali. African Americans loved him because he proved what a man's supposed to stand for, and he was strong. He had values, and above all, he was the best fighter that any man who have went against him, they had to think twice. He won a lot of his fights. People loved him. Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali, I enjoyed the guy. He made me laugh. I was a teenager at the time, and I will never forget him. I will never forget a man of his stature. He was born January 17th, 1942, Louisville, Kentucky. His birth name was Cassius Marcellus Clay Jr. He was Olympic gold medal, 1960s Rome light heavyweight. He was a heavyweight champion, three-time world champion, 1964, 1974, and also in 1978. He changed his name. He joined the Nation of Islam and became Muhammad Ali in 1964. Activism, he refused the Vietnam War draft in 1967 on religious grounds, later reinstated and widely respected for his stance. Famous fight, Sonny Liston, Joe Frazier, fight of the century, Thriller in Manila, George Foreman, Rumble in the jungle. He died June 3rd, 2016. He was known for his speed, he was known for his confidence, and his quotes like, and I say it and I'll say it again, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. My name is Muhammad Ali. I love that man. I love that man. Black History Month, African History Month, the black culture. We're not in the books. We're not in the books. We haven't been properly placed, but America's working on it silently. I like to talk about Muhammad Ali again. And one thing I would like to say, he had a punch. When Muhammad Ali punched a man, he hurt a man. And he was fast, he was quick. He used to dance in the ring, and no other boxer would dance in the ring like Muhammad Ali did. He had his own system in boxing, and that separated him from the others. He fought men in Germany. He fought in Africa. He fought several boxers in the United States and beat them down. He hurt a lot of boxers, and a lot of people respected him for who he was, even though he talked a lot of stuff, but he backed it up. The great Muhammad Ali, I say he rest in peace. He rest in peace. Black History Month, Muhammad Ali, 1942 to 2016. Rest in peace. I think when he died, he was 75. The 6,888th Central Postal Directory Battalion. This was a all black women that were in the army. They were sent to Europe to do the mail. The United States Army said it would take 6 months, and it only took 3 months. This was led by Major Charity Adams. These women cleared a massive backlog of United States soldiers' mail. 17 million pieces of mail that were never delivered. These women did not get a gold medal until 77 years later. Women, these black women worked 3 shifts, 24 hours a day, facing discrimination for being black. These women worked hard. They also received the Congressional Gold Medal. They were honored heroes of World War II. July 1943, the battalion was established. February 1945, these women were deployed to England. May 1945, the mission was to go to France. August 1945, the mission was accomplished. 1946, these women returned to the United States of America. This is Black History Month, where we honor the success and the hard work of African Americans who have achieved excellence in the United States of America. We honor them all. Otis Boykin, born 1929, studied at Fisk University and also Illinois Institute of Technology. 1959, he improved the electrical resistor. 1960, he had a patent on a component on the pacemaker. Mr. Boykins had over 25 patents for burglar alarms and electronic devices. He also had an impact on several inventions, such as the microwave, the radio, certain components of the rocket, the life of as I said, some of our African Americans were not properly placed in history for various patents and inventions or